going to start just by showing you the table and let you know what the mission is. We're going to be playing Hasty Attack. We're not going to try any of the other missions right away because there are changes there that we need to get our head round. We'll get our head round the basic first of all. So Brian's playing Germans, and what list have you brought today,
So
Brian?
I've got a Panzer Company from page 72 of Grey Wolf. Just to try out a mixture of tanks, bringing in a single heavy tank, the King Tiger, and just seeing what I can do with a sort of tank list.
Confident veteran.
Confident veteran, yeah.
Right, and I'll be bringing a Strelkovy list, which I've changed because of the changes to version 4. So what we're going to do in this is we're both going to decide personally and not reveal whether we want to attack or defend, and what we're going to do is we're going to use a dice, and both of us will keep it hidden and put a 1 face up to defend and a 6 face up to attack. We'll reveal it. If we both got the same option, we'll then roll those dice, and the highest is the attacker. So if you want to make your choice, Brian, keep it hidden. I've made mine.
Right,
okay. If you want to reveal, I've taken my hand away. You've got a 6 and I've got a 6. So we're going to roll, and
both fancy having a go.
That's it. Highest is the attacker, a 5 and a 6.
Ah, defending again.
Right, so I'm attacking. Right. So what we're going to do is we'll come back once we've set everything up. We'll talk about the lists in a bit more detail, and we'll talk about the terrain in terms of version 4. That'll also help us get our head around all the movement options. That's everything deployed. Just so you know, Brian's put one objective behind the church and one up here in my deployment zone. I put one, so you can see it there in the corner, and one in this corner, just to try and stretch him as much as possible. We've got the 60-40 split. Brian, if you want to talk about what you've got on the table and what's off.
Yeah, so I've got 1,020 points on, just to be able to split the army up. So on the table I've got my HQ, which is 2 Stoogs. I'm going to have to start with some artillery, so I've got my Nebs on from the start as well.
And you've got a pre-planned bombardment.
On the middle objective,
right there.
on that side as well. I could only then, because of the points value, bring on, I brought my King Tiger on, because I need him on from the start, I think, because to take out any big tanks as quick as I can. Hummed and Hob, I've put him in the middle to try and get a bigger arc of fire. So that leaves me then a unit of 4 Stoogs in immediate, or in an ambush.
Yeah.
Ready to come on. So then in reserve I've got 5 Panzer IVs, I've got my Panzer Grenadier platoon, and I've got the 88 with additional crew.
So what I've got on is a 6 base mortar platoon, a 4 base regimental gun platoon, a 4 base 57mm anti-tank, a 14 base plus command Strelkovy, and my company HQ, two bases and the commissars in there. And then over here I have 4 heavy mortars, 5 SU-100s, and off table I have another Strelkovy, 45mm anti-tank gun platoon, and 3 ISU-122s. I'm using 152 models for that, but they're 122s in the game because the bunker busters are really just breakthrough guns with bells on, and they can't move and fire under any circumstances, so I think a 122 is probably better. My ranged in markers are the 120 mils ranged in over on top of that marker, and the other one's ranged in here, in and around that objective into the front of the wood. Now I've got to take off an objective, this one or the one over there, and I think just because I can maybe make a dash for that, and if he's unlucky with his reserves I might make it, I'm going to take off this one here. Right, now everything's deployed, but we'll do a quick talk through on the terrain. There's one of the most important things on here maybe is the railway tracks. In the past that would be slow going, so it's kind of slow going here. You use your terrain movement as opposed to your cross country movement. It's flat though, so that you don't have to do any kind of cross checks. Cross checks will be required in the woods, hedges, those walls around the factory, the walls around the church. Otherwise we've got quite a lot of open cross-country spaces, a lot of terrain movement, including these ploughed fields and crop fields. But that's basically ready to go. As you can see, there's not a lot of Germans on the table just now, but what they have got could do a lot of damage to the small number of tanks that I've got. So I think it could still be quite an interesting game, especially you've got 4 Stugs in ambush waiting on me. So I think we'll come back at the end of turn 1. So at the end of Russian turn 1, not a lot happened, no reserves. These guys are just staying where they are for the moment. The infantry have decided they're going to move up and defend in front of the objective, also give them more options to advance if they have to. So as far as firing is concerned, the heavy mortars needing a 5 failed to range in on the King Tiger. These mortars needing a 5 failed to range in on this neb at the end. And that's pretty much it for the Russians. So over to German turn 1.
So this is the end of German turn 1. So for the movement, I decided that the King Tiger is going to be better defending this table edge. Unfortunately, I had to move the terrain dash to get, start moving up. Just moving the normal dash wouldn't, tactical movement wouldn't allow me to see around the corner. So he's moved up to try and make a beeline for across this here. The guys in the middle took a blitz move and managed to get the blitz move, so moved up onto the hill and ready to shoot next turn. So for shoot time, these guys took main guns at the infantry and managed to kill a commander. They then failed the shoot and scoot to get back off the hill, but I don't think there's anything you can take them out at the moment. So they're okay at the moment. And then I used the artillery on the small mortars across the side here. Got 4 under the template, but I only managed to kill 1 base. But so far so good, I think. Let's just see what starts coming towards me.
Right, Russian turn 2, no reserves again, so that's kind of scunnered my hopes for a dash. If I'd got reserves pretty quick, I would have taken the chance and just rattled up on my front hammer 9 and tried to overwhelm the Stugs. So it's going to be a long slog. These guys failed to dig in. These guys failed to unpin. And I basically failed absolutely everything that turn when you think of it. The regimental artillery, because they've got smoke trails, they managed to range in on them, so there's a chance they can start to do a bit of damage unless they get responded to in kind and get pinned. So nothing much happening for the Russians. Over to German turn 2.
Okay, so German turn 2. So I never brought my reserves on. I've not popped my ambush yet at the moment, so the reserves are not until turn 3 anyway. First thing I've done is I've done a blitz move with the King Tiger, then my tactical move, just so that he could get into a position to fire with still 1 shot. And we took a shot at the tanks at the back, but failed to hit, but he's now in a position to protect that small corridor. The Panzer IVs were on top of the hill, so they took 2 shots at the artillery in the middle here and managed to take out one of the stands. One of them was saved. They've then done a shoot and scoot and managed to get back off the hill just in case the guns at the back moved up and took some shots at me, so a bit of protection off the hill there. So some good use of the movement there. These guys unpinned, the Rebs did unpin. They've then, because they're already ranged in, I thought they're still the biggest danger because I had the opportunity to reroll saves, was in the mortar team here. So I managed to range in on the 3 stands. 2 were saved, 1 was killed. So they're still pinned for the next turn. I'm going to try and unpin next turn. So slowly but surely whittling slightly away.
So the Russians got 1 reserve. So far they've only rolled 1 5 out of 5 dice. So I brought in this infantry platoon, just moving up into the factories. I've been trying to move these out of the way of the King Tiger because they're all going to die, but they couldn't get over the wall. These guys didn't unpin. These guys continued with the bombardment. Actually, you've got to reroll that save.
Because
it's ranged in.
Them.
And you're fine. So they're doing nothing. So over to German turn 3 where they'll be starting to roll for reserves.
Yep. Okay, so this is the end of German turn 3. I rolled for reserves, didn't get any reserves on, and I've still not popped my ambush. I've still got 4 Stugs hiding somewhere in ambush. Crossing the left hand side, I decided, because there'd been a number of tanks, 2 that had failed to get over the wall, there's some targets left as he was trying to scoot in behind the buildings from the King Tiger. So I've taken 2 shots with the King Tiger because he hasn't moved, managed to destroy one and bailed another, so some damage across in that corner there. In the middle here I managed to blitz up onto the hill. Took the shots at the gun platoon and managed to destroy one of the gun platoons. And still conscious that the guns at the back might move up and take shots, I then managed to scoot and shoot and scoot back off the hill. Probably done more with that than I ever did done in Stormtrooper, which I've forgotten in the old version of the rules and probably kept failing, so that's worked really well. Nebs failed to pin, so they'd never managed to fire, which meant a bit of respite from the artillery duel, but still taking 1 or 2 out each turn, but it was a good result, and I think the tanks across the way.
So Russian turn 4, the reserves are still dribbling on. ISU 122s have come on, I put them on over here, try and stretch his defences a little. As far as movement goes, the surviving this never bailed in. The surviving undamaged one moved over, made its cross check, got in behind here. These infantry have moved up. These guys are staying put. Got to get the feeling there's going to be hordes of machine gun toting half-tracks and Stugs arriving next turn. The regimental guns were ranged in, they got no hits, but the mortars unpinned managed to kill a gun. So I've killed something. Over to Germans with 2 dice for reserves.
So the end of German turn 4. So first thing I had to do was pop the ambush. As the infantry were starting to run on, I brought the ambush on, and because they were behind cover, they could be within the 16 of the advancing infantry. So popped the ambush and then started to open up fire. I failed to unpin the Nebs. That's 2 turns where they've been pinned and not been able to do anything. So let's see what happens across here. So starting with the shooting then. I just kept the King Tiger where he was. I decided I'm going to have to go for the gun just to see what it was bailed. So I managed to hit it, fire twice, hit it once, failed the firepower, so destroyed that. Tanks, the 2 tanks.
Past firepower.
Past the firepower. On there. Opened up with the machine guns on the infantry here, managed to get 8 hits, which predominantly went on the guys at the front, and then mistaken identity put some of the hits towards the team behind the wall to give them extra cover if required. It rolled for them individually, and I think you had to stop after the second one because it failed in the second one, but only managed to take out 1 stand there, and because of the size of the unit, 8 to pin, so
yeah, if you get 8 hits, you're pinning anybody.
There. A blitz moved up into the hill and split my fire, so I took 2 shots for one of the Stugs on the artillery piece, hit once but made his save, and 2 shots on the anti-tank guns, hit once, made his save, and as per normal, now that I've got guns facing me, failed the shooting scout back off the hill, so they're now sitting up there. We'll see what happens next turn. So that's the end of German turn 4.
So Soviet turn 5, my last reserve came on automatically, and it's a small 45mm anti-tank, so I'm just going to beef up the side of the board a bit. SU-100s are just trying to keep themselves out of sight. The guys dug in. The heavy mortars hit a couple of Stugs and bailed one. That's the best that they can hope to achieve. These anti-tank guns managed to kill
2 IC.
The 2 IC. That should still be there as a wreck though.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because he's been blown up. And hit the company commander, but he saved. Lots of shots came down here in bombardment and got 1 hit, which was saved. So I killed a couple of things, but the German reserves will start to appear for sure from next turn, so let's see what happens there.
So this is the end of German turn 5. So rolling for reserves, I managed to get 1 set of reserves on, so I picked the Panzer IV platoon, and then I rolled a 6, which meant they were coming on this table quarter. So I measured up my 16, and then because I wanted to really get them across to protect this side of the table here, I then used my my cross-country dash to get them up to here. So they've done a good old movement
really
across
quick.
the table. You can actually see with these new movement rules, you can actually move quite far with your tanks. Failed to get my Stug back in again, but they're still okay because there's enough tanks here not to force any checks. Failed to unpin the Nebs again, so that's the third time they've been sitting there doing nothing. So then it was across to shooting. So with my King Tiger, I decided that I would have a go at his anti-tank guns. I managed to hit, but he made his save. Just finishing the King Tiger, he decided to then do a shoot and scoot, because I think I want him round this side to the objective just in case there's a sudden rush onto that objective. So he's moved 4 round the table to try and get to that objective next turn. Opened up the main guns because they'd actually dug in the infantry in front of me here. I've hit twice, killed one was saved. So hitting in the middle here. On top of the hill, I managed to take out one of the anti-tank guns, and again used the shoot and shoot successfully this time to get back off the hill just to keep some cover from across there. And that was the end of my turn 5.
Soviet turn 6. These anti-tank guns are feeling pretty vulnerable, so they dug themselves in. They only moved 6 inches. Anti-tank 7, range 24 or something, so they've dug in successfully. These anti-tank guns, as the shoot and scoot left them no target, they dug in, so they're going to get concealment. Just a point to note, those Stugs on the hill firing into these guys that were not dug in the field, they don't get concealment because the Stugs are on higher ground. You know, so it's a definite advantage to hold the high ground when you're defending. These continued, the artillery continued to do absolutely nothing. They never even hit this time on these two. The other heavy mortars managed to hit 3 times on the Stugs, but they all saved. Only a 1 would cause a potential bail. The ISU 122s moved up and had a shot at one of the Nebs, but they all missed. They needed 6s and 7s. So that's it for Russian turn 6. A little bit of German stuff thought to come on, so we'll see where that ends up.
So this is the end of German turn 6. So I rolled for reserves. I managed to get 1 reserve on, and then again rolled a 5, so it was on this corner edge. So I'd pre-planned to bring on the 88. So the 88 came on here with an objective to try and take out one of the tanks here. Again, failed to unpin the Nebs. A 4th turn without the Nebs doing anything. The other movement, tried to blitz up into the hill to take out his guns, but failed to blitz move, so then he was going to try and shoot across the infantry. And these guys here just done a sideways move, normal move, just to try and get some shots in, as did the King Tiger. So then when it came to shooting, I had 1 shot at his guns, but failed to hit. These guys had 1 shot each at the infantry, and between the tanks here and the tanks in the middle, I managed to hit 4 stands, but they all made their staves because they're dug and going to ground, hitting them with the main guns. I then done a shoot and scoot move, just moving further across another 4 inches, again just trying to get towards that objective in case there's a sudden rush for that. Across this side here, this guy, because he hadn't got up in the hill, tried to take out a shot at the infantry, but failed to hit because he needed 7s now because of the range. So I took the 88 shot at his 3 tanks coming towards me. Managed to hit. You just
I rolled
failed.
a 2. A 1 or a 2, otherwise it'd have been
just
fine.
failed that. So I've managed to take out one of his big guns. So hopefully he can survive another shot and then take out the rest of his guns. Let's see what happens. But
one thing, by the way, I don't think you can shoot and scoot if you move. We'll double check that.
Oh, so they might not. So they might have to come back before.
Yeah, but because he didn't do a. If they'd have done a. No, you can't shoot and scoot if you move. Right, but
so
we'll double check it
anyway.
anyway.
Come back for.
Right. So Russian turn 7. We made a wee mistake there. The 88 does not have a rate of fire when it's moving. It's got to move at a dash, which means it can't shoot. It's too late now. We just have to say what's done is done. Nothing happened that turn, folks. Artillery is all powerful in version 4, and that's, I think, the 4th turn now I've been ranged in here and killed nothing. So it's not that powerful, guys. And that's it, over to the Germans.
Okay then, so the end of my turn now then, I've got my last of my reserves on, so it's the the Grenadier platoon. What I've done is I've split them off. So the half tracks, I came on my 16 inches in this corner, so I've moved the infantry up to hold the objective. They're going to dig in next turn, and because these are now transports on their own right, they can go off and start doing their own thing as well. So they came around this side to try and lend some support and fire into the infantry, but then I suddenly realised that I had a threat on my side from my Stugs, from the two big guns coming out the side. So they actually moved forward to take the fight to the infantry in front of me. The gun had moved round, it hitched up in the half track and moved round, but I failed to blitz move on my main gun here, and as per usual, since about halfway through the game, failed to unpin my nebs. So shooting, so I managed to take some shots and kill one base with the shooting with the Stugs. I also then had a shot with the King Tiger, but they made their saves, and shot with as many main guns as I could as well. But as you can see, I only managed to take out one stand because the other stand actually came from an assault. So I assaulted in with my Stugs, killed a stand.
Yeah, you were only close enough to contact one base.
Yeah, so you decided to break off and you've moved back in towards the building. I've consolidated back out again as well. So just to push those away from this objective here at the moment. And my main worry is what's coming up at the side of me here, because I've got nothing that can really take it out unless I get this 8 to 8 position correctly. So that's the end of the German turn, just waiting to see what comes through these two big guns.
So on this turn, the Soviets here have just gone to ground. I'd really love to take some shots over here, but I'll just die. Mainly because the King Tiger will just chew up the SU-100s. The SU-100s need at least a turn or a blitz move to get into position. So far they've failed every single, I think 4 blitz move rolls on the trot, so they're just staying where they are. The SU-122s moved up and assaulted the Nebs after the Nebs surviving another turn from artillery, which is the most devastating weapon against guns and artillery in version 4. They survived 2 more ranged in rounds of combat. The Nebs died because they failed to counter-attack and couldn't get away. So nothing much happening for the Russians apart from that.
So at the end of another uneventful German turn, I've just moved my infantry round out of the ranged in mark here, because these are only fire on direct line of sight because we don't have an observer. So they're going to just stay here ready to take that objective if required. But there's a general push through the middle now with my tanks. The idea being that I was going to try and take out the infantry, but failed to do any hits on the infantry, and failed again with my half tracks and my main guns here on the infantry platoon in front of me here. So very uneventful shooting with all those guns firing, which wasn't very clever. Company, the HQ leader tried to do a blitz move to go up in the hill to do some shots, but it failed his blitz move. I think that's about 3 or 4 times on his trot now he's done that. So I've unhitched the 8 to 8 just to protect this flank for the guns coming around here. They might still come up the way, but at least I'm stopping some movement in this corner here. But I need to start getting these guns up and into the fight. I'm just conscious that the tank's hiding behind there and can actually do some damage. So I just try and move the King Tiger up, but he failed to get across the wall because he was going to go off and try and take care of the tanks for me. End of the German turn.
So in this turn, first of all, the little guns moved up, managed to kill a half track. The mortars ranged in between the Stugs and the half tracks, but didn't do any damage. I finally, after I think 4 attempts at getting a blitz move, got the SU-100s into a firing position, and they managed to kill a couple of Panzer IVs. The other one, that couldn't see the Panzer IVs, fired long range at the company commander and missed, and then these 2 fired at long range, and even a ridiculous 7 or something to hit the Panzer IVs and missed. The mortars have moved up, try and get themselves in a position where they can do some more shooting. But that's it now. We'll see what happens as things start to get a bit close in.
Okay, so the end of the German turn. The infantry just dug in just to give them a little bit extra cover behind the hill here, so that's what they've done here. In the middle, I moved the King Tiger up at terrain dash because he's now going to have to try and take care of these tanks behind the wall here. I moved my half tracks across to take some machine gun shots, risky I know, but just to get the game over. at the anti-tank guns. And I also took shots with the Stugs as well. You can actually see, I think we've made a bucket load of shots there, but only managed to kill one gun, but they're starting to get depleted.
7 MG and 4 main gun hits it took.
To take all that out. I think the interesting thing here as well is because I just done a blitz move to take the shots at the tanks back here, and you can see I've hit twice but made these saves. I then made a successful shoot and scoot to move back out of line of sight, apart from one's just in line of sight, but just to do that out, shoot and then back in again is very good. The guy at the back here had taken a blitz move, took out one of the anti-tank guns and then a shoot and scoot back behind, because the blitz move doesn't actually count. And I've just moved the anti-tank, so the 88 up into the hill, just to take some shots of this lot next time if they foolishly don't move, which I'm sure they will. So then do German turn.
So this Soviet turn, everything pretty much sat still. The one Panzer IV that couldn't get out of line of sight of two of these got hit twice and was killed. There was a shot of the company commander but it missed the IS. Well, first of all, the mortars and the artillery tried to get the 88 ranged in but couldn't hit. These fired with re-roll of misses at short range and breakthrough guns, so they got the 88. I tried to shoot and scoot them, didn't work. Tried to shoot and scoot these, didn't work. And oh, there's a motivation for that, but that'll be in your turn anyway, Brian. 2 half tracks died, so one surviving half track's going to have to make a test. So it's just a question of this big guy coming in, tuning everything up now.
Okay, so I just moved my commander away on a dash back towards this objective, keeping them out of the kill zone of the 2 big tanks coming my way at the moment. In the middle, tried to concentrate my fire on the anti-tank guns. I managed to destroy 2, but I got myself in a position where I couldn't actually use the second set of tanks to shoot at that because of the ones I'd actually killed, so a bit of a disappointment there. So then I opened up on my main guns with these 2 tanks onto the building. I managed to kill 2 infantry inside that building.
This platoon's getting a whittled down.
The big one was though trying to get the King Tiger. He had 2 shots but managed to only hit with 1, which destroyed one of the tanks here, but not enough to actually cause any checks at the moment. So the King Tiger's going in there for the kill, but I just need to kill him a bit quicker.
This turn, the Russians tried to kill those half tracks and they rolled 9 threes, so they never hit them. I managed to bail and double bail a Stug from these anti-tank guns. Unfortunately, firepower's not been very good today. These guys moved up, tried a couple of long range shots, never got any hits, but they're on a mission end of the... Oh, sorry, one last thing is a matter of urgency. These guys had to just get out of dodge and they're actually tucked in a bit tighter behind the building, so they're out of line of sight.
Into the German turn here then. My last surviving half track tried to take some machine gun shots. But no, he was killed last time. There was no half track.
He fled.
Nothing to do with the machine gun. There was the shots from the Stug here, but never done any damage. Basically, I'm turning everything now to face this side of the table. Managed to get 2 tanks to be able to have a go at the anti-tank guns, but failed to hit. The third one, because of the hill, managed to have a go at the infantry, but failed to hit. The big telling shot came was, could I take 2 shots with the King Tiger at these 2 tanks coming at me, and I managed to hit them both. Killed one, bailed another, so hopefully he'll fail the motivation test.
I don't even know why I put them there. They should have been just gone around here. Because the plan was to drive to the objective, but that's probably killed that.
Well, let's see if he stays or not, and then that's me ready to now start moving on to this side of the table. If I can get rid of that last tank, if it runs, I think they're far enough away now to stop giving me bother for a turn and try and move up towards that objective.
So, it's pretty much coming towards time out. I managed to get a blitz move on with these guys, which allowed them to get in a position to shoot the King Tiger in the rear, and they missed. They did quite a lot because of their hen and chicks and rate of fire 1. These fired, managed to hit 2 Stugs in the side and did nothing. he stayed but he didn't get back in, so he's going to more than likely die. So we're going to do one more turn to see what the Germans can do in the way of killing Soviet. Oh, these also fired at Stuss and did nothing, basically nothing that turn. So over to the Germans for one more turn. We're going to stop there. There was only a possibility of the Germans maybe killing some platoons, so we're just going to go straight on to the recap. Well, from my point of view, I'm going to very much prefer to be attacking in version 4, I think, and I still want to use infantry. I've got another version of this list which strips out a lot of the static anti-tank elements and brings extra tanks, and I probably would use that after this little experiment. Though it would have been a different game because these guys here, if there'd been no King Tiger, would have dominated the battle, but the King Tiger dominated the battle, which meant I couldn't get any action. When they got into action, they started killing even veteran tanks, they started killing them left, right and centre. So it's hard to say, but next time I'll maybe try these with a platoon of 10 tanks instead of anti-tank guns and regimental guns. But for me, the thing that prevented me from winning this game was actually the King Tiger. I could have destroyed all the German tanks, be they veteran or whatever, if that King Tiger wasn't there. I had to spend most of the game hiding, and you see what happened when I didn't hide. It blew my tanks up, and I couldn't touch it. So managed to hold on. I made a daft mistake. My plan was to go and get that objective with them. If I had all three of them, I might have stood a better chance, but we made that wee blunder with the 88. And they could have pushed on to get that objective, but I don't know why I put them out there. I've just been lazy. They should have been going around and to deal with the company commander. But this list will probably change for me going forward into V4. And artillery is a new wonder weapon in version 4, is it hell? You can very easily fail your rolls to hit, and even when you're ranged in, your opponent can make their save. So don't put too much hope on your artillery. It can be good, but it's not a magic one. And what about your list, Brian?
So again, yeah, I wanted to bring the King Tiger, so we're reading a number of blogs around, does the King Tiger reign supreme or not, having this one tank option. I think I was lucky at a game up against the Russians, who are unable to smoke it and do much damage against it.
And they were all slow tanks as well.
So that did, I think, for my mistake, bringing the 88 on from reserve meant, it moved and didn't actually fire anything. I think it took one shot and never done any damage, and that one shot, well, it killed, but we shouldn't have really done that. So the 88's got to be on from the beginning again. I think the Nebs are cheap at 105 points, but I think because they can actually then, because of the smoke trail, you can see them wherever you are, they're maybe very vulnerable there. So maybe have a look at this and see if I can bring on some mortars from the Panzer, from the Grenadier side of things instead, to bring that on. Panzer 4s are always vulnerable, but they stayed there and done a little bit of damage. So a good list to try with, a good list to have a go with. I just want to see how tanks would work and the big tank in this one, but certainly I think the Nebs replaced by mortars to see if I can get some cover. But no, a good enjoyable game.
Well, this game wound up, we actually stopped counting turns, but this game wound up as a draw, which is a defeat for both sides. I can't quite, I've lost no platoons, believe it or not. But that's morale now, when you've got to kill a platoon now to lose a platoon just about. Brian lost 2, but I don't know what that actually means to the score. We'd have to check it out. But it's a loss anyway.
I think, having that last shot and just failing to hit you bailed out. I mean, taking one out there, that was a 3 and a 1 10, that was really annoying. But yeah, it was good. I think when you got up and off and started moving forward, it becomes quite a mobile game. Does it work having the Panzer Grenadiers and these separate, because you can save a lot of points by just having guys on foot that can run just as fast. They may be a bit vulnerable Roman machine guns, I'm not sure. I might look at just bringing on a Grenadier platoon instead and keep them off the half tracks just to save some points.
But there you go, that's our second version 4 game, folks. We'll see if we can get another one in with different kind of lists in the near future.